In this video, I'm going to be interviewing Marcus with Dixon's Pickens, just really picking his brain about some of the strategies he put in place for running a six-figure online reselling business on eBay. Stick around to the end of the video and we'll be unveiling the one secret that really has helped transform his business. And let's not waste any more time and bring him on and start asking him some of those serious questions, because it's not all what it seems to be when it comes to reselling. It's not all Louis Vuitton and Gucci sales. It's the grind of those $10 to $20 sales that really make that foundation of your reselling business. So,
Yeah.
Marcus, thank you for coming on. I
Yep,
just
yep.
wanted to
Thanks for
get
having
right
me.
to it. You're welcome. It's always awesome to talk to other resellers and
Yeah,
pick their brain about, what things are working for them and what things aren't working.
right.
So I just want to get right into it and just go with, what are some of the biggest hurdles that you had to overcome, like within this last year or two, with your reselling business?
So for me, really the biggest component to finding what I call success was getting to the point to where I had enough cash flow to be able to take care
Mm,
of my responsibilities business wise and in my personal life, since this is what I do full time.
yeah.
Um, I got thrown into challenges that I wasn't ready for at the
Hmm.
time, forced to kind of push the envelope, if you will, on growth. And it taught me a lot. It taught me that where I was going, I wasn't ready for it. Because I was thrown into a couple of listing challenges by other, resellers with YouTube channels and things like that. And
Hmm.
I kind of use my own personal cash, or like, would go into debt getting inventory to list. And
Hmm.
it put me in a negative spot financially as well as business wise, but also mentally. So
Yeah.
I wasn't really like happy because I wasn't making any growth. And so after ending those challenges and then joining the daily refinement mentorship, I realized that it wasn't really about ego. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah.
And so I cut back the listing amount to, a feasible amount, and then started learning strategies on how to get sales going. Once I
Hmm.
figured that out, it was really just a game of getting the items up consistently. And
Hmm.
that allowed me to start obviously growing my store, which led to me making more sales, which led to me having more cash flow. And it's really just been a method of just uh, not overbuying, because
Yeah.
I have people that offer me things, just deals on Instagram and things like that. And I'm like, man, I already have what I need for the week. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I think a lot of people go thrifting for the fun of it and for the treasure hunt.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
started out that way, but
Yep.
after, like, with your situation with your storage buyout, you don't need to go source when you have that much inventory.
Hmm.
So for me, I go buy everything all in one day on Mondays usually. I
Hmm.
don't need to source for the rest of the week. So it's just finding your rhythm and sticking to it. That's
Yeah.
been helpful for me,
Hmm.
getting over the hurdle of having the cash flow that I need to run my business.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that that's a huge, can be a huge problem, overbuying. And as fun as it is to go out and source, it's not making money if it's not listed. You
Exactly.
could have piles of clothing just sitting, and some people don't even
Yep,
remember what they bought.
that's true.
And getting as much positive cash flow to start is going to speed up that process.
Yeah,
For me, it was like, oh, we have enough money to pay the rent, and now we have enough money to pay rent and groceries, and
yeah,
now you could start building that business to take over all the expenses and buy more inventory. So, when I bought those bulk storage units,
mhm,
I stopped buying anything for about 6 months,
right.
and that was hard. But I'm still going through it. So it's like it can be a bad habit to just go out and
Yeah,
buy stuff and not list it. So that's
you
key.
gotta practice that self control.
Yeah. Yeah. And that will take you far in life. Discipline.
Yeah, yeah,
um,
definitely.
So, like now looking towards the future, what is something that, maybe 1 or 2 years down the road that you are looking forward to the most in your reselling business?
Um, well, really, man, it's reselling related, but it's really taking capital from the reselling business and starting
Hmm.
another business.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm not exactly sure which avenue I'm going to take yet, but I'm kind of leaning more towards real estate. But
Hmm.
really, the whole ballpark, the whole plan bases, using eBay to start other streams of income.
Yeah.
Uh, eBay's not passive, so therefore I want to use the eBay money to get passive income, or either less active. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's
Hmm.
that's really the goal, and then eventually, see where those investments take me, and
Yeah.
just really try to. I don't know how long I'm going to do eBay, but I know
Hmm.
that I got quite a few years ahead of me of doing it, as long as it's still profitable and
Yeah.
things don't go all wonky and stuff with shipping prices and whatnot and things like that.
Yeah.
But for the next 2 years, like the immediate future, the goal is to get enough capital to put into some real estate investment.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, eBay is a beautiful way to multiply resources.
Yeah,
You know, you know this, going to the bins, buying something for $1 and selling
mhm.
it for 10 even,
It's still
you're
profitable.
yeah, so now how can I just put that into practice to build a real
Right,
business?
right,
Yeah, it's so key. No one is ever born to just do eBay. Let's just say that.
right.
People were born for more, to impact the world. That is my belief. But eBay is the vehicle.
Yeah,
eBay is a way to multiply resources.
yeah,
So, and it's, thank you for people like you showing the ins and outs, being transparent of like, this as simple as like a what sold video. Well,
mhm,
maybe for a beginner, they have no idea what to buy. So they
right.
just watch one of those what solds and they go, many people have come to me and go, wow, I didn't know you could resell Nike and resell
Yeah,
Ralph Lauren. Like that's pretty plain, boring
basic
types
stuff.
of
Yeah,
brands, but there is a market for it. So
yeah,
yeah, it's cool, and it's always good to look towards the future. That's what pushes you through the ups and downs of life.
right.
So, you're doing six figures on eBay, in sales and building that store up. What does that look like in a week? Like how many hours a day, sourcing? Like
So,
how many hours are you putting into this to generate that type of money?
well, the listing time within itself is about 6 hours a day. That's just with photos and bagging my items,
Hmm.
putting SKUs on them, and then doing the actual sitting at the computer component. But then
Yeah.
there's still the shipping and consolidating storage and
Hmm.
even just like laying my items out for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So when I factor in all that, it's about 8 to 9 hours a day usually.
Yeah.
So what's that, like 40 something hours a week? A little over
Hmm.
40 hours a week.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's not like mega like, oh, I'm just reselling all day long, which I mean it could be if I was to up the listing goal to a higher amount. But right now it's taking me about 6 hours of legit like listing processes to do 60 a day and
Yeah.
about 2 additional hours for the back end stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, so you're doing 60 a day.
I do
Well,
60 a day, I launch
mhm,
40 and
40.
keep
Yeah. So
20 in the draft.
we were just talking about this a while ago, is like the importance of using your draft bank so you
Mhm.
can have a day off or you get
Right.
sick or something comes up,
Yeah.
because eBay, the real key to eBay, and you may hear it a lot, is listing every
Mhm.
day. And you can list, you do 60 a day. So that means you're launching 40 every day.
Yeah.
So by the third or fourth day, you can take a day off.
Pretty
And
much. Yeah. Every 2 days I get a day.
yeah, yeah. So, if you're just starting out on eBay, and you don't, maybe you have a part-time job or something, start with 7.
Right.
Start with, on one day you do 7 listings, launch one a
One a
day,
day.
keep 6 in your draft bank, and you keep
Yep.
eBay active.
Yep.
I just really think that that's the key
Yeah. Keep
principle
it
to eBay.
simple. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So, you source, 3 or 400 items a week to meet
Yeah.
your listing goal. How are you getting your inventory? Are you doing yard sales?
So
What are you doing to source that much?
my method of sourcing is it started out as everything. So I would
Mm-hmm.
go everywhere that I could get inventory. But as I
Mm-hmm.
started scaling the business and then niching down on the category, I switched to nothing but clothing. And,
Yeah.
I can go to the thrift stores around me, but since I live in such a rural town, like, there's, like,
Mm-hmm.
40,000 people in my town, not a lot
Mm-hmm.
of sourcing options in such a small city. So what I
Mm-hmm.
do is, pretty much just go to the Goodwill bins.
Yeah.
I can buy clothes in bulk by the pound. I can get all the items I
Yeah.
need for 1 week and just pay a
Mm-hmm.
few $100. So, like, right now for me to buy 300 items, I'm paying around 400 to 450 for
Mm-hmm.
300 items, which if I was to go do that at a thrift store, we're talking quadruple the price minimum.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just
Not
I
even
feel like
close. Yeah, it's
yeah, I feel like it's just the most viable option for me. And then I don't have to, I mean, at this point in my business, I don't have to hire someone to source for me or relinquish the control of which items go into my store. So uh,
yeah.
that's what's been working for me right now at the moment where
Mm-hmm.
I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I'll probably have to train someone or either, give somebody a brand list to start sourcing along with me.
Right.
But that's for
Yeah.
further down the line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Being able to find 3 or 400 items a week in itself is difficult to do at thrift stores, but the
Right.
Goodwill Outlet enables you to be able to pick up stuff that other people are passing up on or may not be as knowledgeable as you to, you know, um, a lot of people seem to be just into the vintage hype tees and a lot of the,
Mm,
more known stuff. But if you
yeah.
can build that brand list of 50 to 100 brands,
Right.
you're picking up stuff that people pass up, but you're not looking for the $50 sales.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, now granted, I pick those items up when I see them, but
oh yeah, yeah.
the only thing that I've discovered about my bins that we have the disadvantage of other bin stores is they don't
Hmm.
cycle rows out at my bins. So
That's right. Yeah.
most bins they'll cycle out rows every 20, 30 minutes.
Hmm.
Mine, they open up for 3 hours at a time and they close. They only open twice. They
Yeah.
fill all the bins up, then they open up. You
Hmm.
get to go through them for 3 hours. And
Hmm.
then so that pretty much everything's gone within the first 20 minutes. But that's
Yeah.
when the brand knowledge comes into play and like knowing things that other people aren't looking for or picking up bread and butter items or not just
Hmm.
going strictly for vintage bangers. That's gonna
Right.
separate the mice from the men because you're gonna actually be
Hmm.
able to make six figures a year versus a couple $100 a month by just only looking
Right.
for exclusive stuff.
Yes. Yeah, we're trying to help people start a business,
Yeah,
and it's hard to do that when there's just so few of those high priced items out there and everyone's looking for them. So,
yeah.
um yeah, so just a real side note, so you're spending 300-400 dollars a week in your average sale price is somewhere between what, 20 twenty
It's
five
like
dollars
it's at 20 right now because, my
Mm-hmm.
store's been on sale for a
Yeah.
month,
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of items on sale for 50% off already with an
Yeah.
additional 25% coupon. So the
Mm-hmm.
average sales price is down currently, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel like once I get rid of all those older items that I have on sale for 50%, it'll start to
Mm-hmm.
inch its way back up or,
Yeah.
just I mean, it is what it is. It's just part of the business, especially when
Yeah.
you got half the store on sale.
Yeah, yeah, and we were just talking about this earlier. Is like, it's you're still technically, even if it's a quarter or 10 cents, you're still
Right.
making a little bit of money,
Yeah.
and that's what keeps your business afloat.
Yeah.
It's when you start losing money, like
Right.
that's when you start to see the red flags. And
See, I
you,
look at it like this, man. I'd rather slash the price on it and make my initial investment back,
hmm
free up the space, and
yeah,
then take that money and invest it in another item that will sell versus me
hmm
take down the item and then lose the money altogether. You
yeah,
know what I mean? So
yeah, yeah,
and the volume that you get from the sales on your store, that velocity from your store,
hmm
number one, it helps you with
hmm
defects. If you get, 400 items sold in 90
Right.
days, you start
Yes.
getting judged on a rolling 90-day
Yep.
basis
Yeah.
versus waiting a whole year for defects to
Mm-hmm.
fall off. So
Yep.
just keeping the volume up is it's all around good, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you're implementing some type of markdown strategy,
Markdown.
right?
So
So if let's say you have an item that's doesn't sell within 90 days, is that when you
mhm,
start running your
yeah,
discount on those?
yep.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I
like, in
find
90 days, it
mhm.
goes on sale for, like, 25%, and
Yeah.
then the further it gets closer to a year, like, once it hits the year mark, it's on sale for 50%.
Yeah.
That's when it's
Yeah.
like, "You gotta get out of here."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, definitely. And that's been really successful for me as well,
yeah,
seeing stuff 380 days, you're like, this has got to go.
right.
And the thing is, you could sell it, get your money back, and then just go buy an item that now maybe you've done more brand knowledge, and now you're like,
Mhm.
okay, I'll take that original investment and go
Yeah,
buy something nicer.
yep.
Um, so that's good. So just the title says it. The biggest secret. What was your kind of thing? Maybe you haven't shared. Out there. What is the one thing that has been successful for your business that really just transformed it? What was the one thing that made it really go like now I'm making money. We're cooking with
Well,
gas now. What's going on?
it's kind of a combination of 2 things, right?
Hmm.
And if I don't know how many of you actually are subscribed to my channel, but if you guys watch any of my videos, there's one thing that I talk about all the time, and it's being consistent. But not just with being consistent, but it's with controlling the controllables, the things that you can control in your business, right? You can't control how many viewers come to your store. You can't control if they will buy your item or not. But what you can control is you can control the price you market at. You can
Yeah.
control whether you put it on sale or not. You can control if you pick that item up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are things that you could control. You could control how many items you list a day, what time you list them at,
Hmm.
all the things that you have the control over. Do those to the
Hmm.
best of your ability. And so
Hmm.
for me, that means getting up every day, same time, getting started at work the same time, listing the
Yeah.
same amount of items every single day,
Hmm.
doing everything in my routine, sending the offers,
Hmm.
checking any buyer messages, launching
Yeah.
my items, doing my shipping, everything. These are all non-negotiable. So I make sure all
Hmm.
these things are done. And the next thing behind that goes along with that, which is
Hmm.
leaving my emotions at the door. If I don't feel like doing eBay, it doesn't matter. Because if this was a
Yeah.
regular job, like, and I had a boss to answer to, they
Right.
wouldn't care if it was snow on the ground. They wouldn't
Hmm.
care if didn't feel
You're
good.
right.
None of that.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
get up and go into work, and your bills
Yeah.
don't care how you feel either. So you got to
Hmm.
do what you got to do. So
Yeah.
therefore, I kind of leave my emotions at the door when it's an item that I've got at the bins for $1 and I have it listed for 15. If someone sends me a $10 offer, I take it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just
Yeah.
turn and burn, make the money. I can go get
Hmm.
400 of these items if I wanted to the next
Hmm.
following week. So there's no sense in me trying to hold on to it. Now, granted, I can get storage
Hmm.
unit after storage unit to store these items in, but I don't
Yeah.
have to. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
why hold on to something when I could just get rid of it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's really my biggest thing that because before I was trying to hang on and get every single penny of every single
Yeah.
sale, and when I
Yeah.
kinda left my emotions at the door and just realized, "Hey, you can
Hmm.
get another one of these. This
Hmm.
Ralph Lauren polo shirt is not exclusive. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't the only one. You can get 20 of
Hmm.
these if you sell this one."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's been the game changer for me, man.
Yeah. And also not having that like emotional attachment to your
Yeah,
items.
yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, same for me. It's been not having any emotion, taking those offers for those common items because you
Mhm.
can go and find more.
Yep.
Um, Hillary says, I hear you, Marcus. My lack of consistency with eBay lately has been kicking me in the tail.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
do that to you. It's
Yep.
unforgiving.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty crazy on, you could build up a store of thousands of items, and if you just miss a couple listing days,
Yeah.
unfortunately, they're just gonna eBay will give you the views and the impressions to what you're
Mhm.
how active you are.
That's right.
Kind of another side note was, accepting offers, having your set baseline price of how low you can really go.
Mhm.
Do you find like sometimes when you wake up in the morning and you check your offers, um, do you find, and you've mentioned this in videos, when you accept the offers, if
Mhm.
they're decent, reasonable, but not $1 offers, do you
Yeah.
find that when you accept them and you're taking maybe 50% off, 60% off, do you find your store is more active during the day because you did get the ball rolling, and maybe eBay sees that as like, you're open for
I mean,
business?
I think it could be placebo effect, but I feel like
Mhm.
when I do wake up, and especially if it's a morning where I woke up and I don't necessarily have sales going already,
Yeah.
I do feel like if I accept an offer, it does kickstart the business, and it
Mhm.
like turns the light on, lets them know that I'm ready to do business. But there's been
Mhm.
times where I wake up and I've got a couple $100 in sales already, or at least over
Mhm.
$100 in sales, and I
Yeah.
don't have any offers. So
Mm.
I just get
Mhm.
up and I send offers myself. I feel like that still does pretty much the same thing. As long as you get up and you immediately start with some activity on your store, I feel like you're
Yeah.
good to go. But there's been some times where I don't accept whatever offers I have in the morning time just because some of them are
Mhm.
ridiculous and I already
Yeah.
have sales going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
it's usually on the mornings where I don't have anything sell overnight, but I did get
Mhm.
offers. That's usually
Mhm.
when I'm pretty much going to accept whatever I can to get the store jump started. But yeah,
Mhm.
I feel like I said it could be placebo, but I feel like it works.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no like like eBay's not coming out and saying
Yeah,
that,
there's
but
not they're
it's
not
just
telling us.
it's the conspiracy theories of
Yeah,
eBay.
yeah.
So and you've been listing every day
Mhm.
for a year and a
Yeah,
half.
a year straight,
Two, yeah,
no days off. But
yes.
before that, I think yeah, we could call it safely a year and a half, no days off.
Mhm.
Well, no days
Mhm.
not listing, launching drafts still though.
Yeah, and you went
So
from, I think you went like from 10 to
yeah, 10 to
20, and you slowly
well,
scaled
I
that up.
kind of inched it up a listing at a time
Mhm.
as each month went along, and then when I got
Mhm.
up to 20, I did that for a little bit, and then that's when I found out that you were doing 45, and you got
Mhm.
kids and a wife, and I'm like, if Bo can do this, then I can do this. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you really inspired me to kick it up a notch because I was just kind of content cruising at 20. So then I
Yeah.
kicked it up to doing 30 when you were
Mhm.
doing 45, and I would do
Mhm.
40. I was doing 40, but launching 30 and keeping 10 in the draft bank. Well,
Yeah.
then Chris Daly Refinement said 33 is like the perfect store or something. So
No,
I bumped it up to
yeah.
35. And then I just cruised from 35 for the rest of the
Yeah.
year last year. And then
Yeah.
this year is when I went up to 40. So I just
Mhm.
increased it five more. The goal is to get to 50 by the end of the year.
Mhm.
I don't have it mapped out like this is what I'm gonna do, this many by
Mhm.
this. I think I'm just gonna kind of fill it out and maybe I'll go up to five more a month next month. Maybe I'll
Mhm.
wait to the next month, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure that the cash flow
Yeah.
and everything is the where it's supposed to
Yes.
be at.
Yes. So it took you all of that time, let's say 18 months, to start seeing that those sales catch up, like
Yeah.
now you're maybe doing like 30 sales a day, but it
Mhm.
took you 18 months of
Right. Yeah.
consistency to really see that.
Yeah.
So one of
And
the
I
worst things, yeah, you go ahead.
I try to get people to realize that because people ask me on my lives all the time, how long did it take you to start seeing 30 sales a day? And I'm just like, it took a while, like
Yeah.
it's not like you're gonna list 15 for 2 months and then jump to 30 and automatically start selling 30. It's not
Hmm.
gonna happen like that.
Yeah.
So I try to tell people like, look, I've been doing 33, 35 for 6 months now
Yeah.
and I'm finally starting to get to 30 sales a day on a
Hmm.
consistent basis. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So like
Yeah.
like since I've been going up to 40, I've been doing 40 for almost 2 months now. And
Hmm.
I'm finally like consistently hitting 30, sometimes 30 plus. Like
Yep.
last weekend, I did 43 sales in one day, and that's more than I listed
Nice.
that day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's
So,
oh,
but
that's
it
so
took
cool.
the time to grow the store to this size for it to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. Yeah, you're sitting at 5,500 items around
Close
there.
to that. Yeah,
Uh,
right around
yeah,
there.
yeah, it just takes time and patience. And the really the
Yeah.
principle, the
Can
biblical
say that
principle that
again.
comes in here is faithful with little and you will be
Mhm.
faithful with much.
With much.
We
Yep.
all try to maybe see other people online and they're showing, oh, they got 100 sales or 200
Mhm.
sales, but that person has been doing it for 10, 15 years and
Right.
it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
The worst thing is growing your business too fast,
Yeah.
saying I'm going to go from 5 listings a day for a month and now I'm going to do 20 listings a day.
Yeah. You're gonna.
Well,
That's a recipe for disaster.
yeah, eBay is still trusting you with the 5. They can't
Right.
trust you with the 20. So you're
Yeah.
going to do all this work and you still are only going to get the sales equivalent to the 5 a day
And
because
then you're
they
gonna
haven't
run out
they
of
don't
money.
yeah, they don't know you. Exactly, and
Yeah.
then you run out of money. So yeah, it's really cool because similar styles, similar
Mhm.
stores, but you live, more on the East
In
Coast.
Missouri. Yeah.
So yeah, and really cool to see your growth and just share some of the things that are working for you and what you're
Yeah.
looking forward to. If you haven't checked out Marcus's channel, go check it out. I don't know what you're wasting time for. He shares all of his sales. He shares,
Yeah.
really the dirty work of
Yeah.
reselling. If you think, maybe you work a full-time job or a part-time job and you want to get into eBay because you want more time back, it,
It's
it
not gonna
just
be that
won't.
way.
Yeah, it's you're probably going to end up working a little bit harder for
Yeah.
those first few years to build something great.
That's
But
right.
you know what? If you want to do that and you want your time back and not have to be on a schedule where someone else tells you what to do with your time, eBay can be that option to where
Right.
maybe 3 to 5 years down the road, you have employees, you have a
Yeah.
manager, you have a sourcer, and now you're just the visionary, you know?
Yep.
So, check out his channel. He shares a lot of his tips on, from printing labels and refunding buyers and, all this. You're not just a reseller, you're an accountant, you're a shipper, you're a sourcer, you're
Yep.
customer service.
Wear all the
There's like
hats.
yeah, there's about
Yeah.
10 different things you need to really be good at to make this all work.
Yep.
And it really just takes time to master that. You're not going to be good in your first 1,000 free throws, but 10,000 free throws
Yep.
later, you're going to start getting better. And
That's
just
right.
really just check out his channel. I linked it in the comment section. Hillary says, I'm a much smaller seller than y'all, and I definitely notice an uptick in traffic when I send or accept offers. Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. Yeah, get the
Yeah.
ball rolling. Brian says, "What up? How's
What's
it go,
going on,
Brian?
brother?
Thanks for hanging in." He says, "Damn, dude, I definitely take days off. That's insane." Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Marcus.
I don't want it to be confused. I do take days off, but
Mm-hmm,
I still launch listings on those days off. So
mm-hmm.
when I say I haven't missed a day listing, that doesn't mean that I don't take time off. That just means I list
Yeah.
more than what I need on the days that I do list. So I can take days off.
Mm-hmm. So for like a super beginner that's starting their eBay store, what would you suggest them to do to do that? To maybe they can't do one listing a day. Would you suggest like planning that into a schedule, like a day
So
off?
schedule is everything.
Yeah.
My most basic suggestion would be pretty similar to what you suggested earlier. If
Mm-hmm.
you do have enough time, say you have one day a week where you can take some time and do all of your listings in that one day. Say you do 10 in one day,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just launch one listing a day. Keep
Yeah.
3 in the draft bank. Eventually, you'll have those 3 carry on over for each week. You'll be able to
Right.
launch one a day until eventually you'll get fast enough to where those 10 turn into 15. Now you can do
Yeah.
2 a day because you've got these extra 3 that's been building up for a little bit
Mm-hmm.
of time. And
Yeah.
eventually, there's no way you can't do eBay and not get faster at your processes. after you
Mhm.
put in the reps and get some speed built up.
Yeah.
Eventually you'll catch a rhythm. Next thing you know, you'll be doing 5 a day, and you'll start having a little bit of cash flow too. So you'll be able to buy
Mhm.
more, and eventually, you just kind of push yourself without
Mhm.
overdoing it, because
Yeah.
you don't want to be redlining it the whole time, because then you won't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's the biggest thing, because you need to stay consistent with eBay. But if you're burnt out, you're not going to stay consistent with eBay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I found that
that would be the
rest
safe way.
rest is key, there's no way I could do this if I'm not going to bed, I'm
Mhm.
sounding like a grandpa, but I go to bed before
It's the
10 every
truth.
night, but if
Yeah,
I don't, I cannot do what I'm supposed to do every day.
right.
So, it takes a lot of discipline
It
and
really
they'll
does.
pay
You
you
find out
for
what
discipline.
you'll find out what you're made of when you start doing eBay or any entrepreneur
Yeah.
endeavor
Mhm.
that you embark on, where
For
you're the
sure.
one that's in control of the thing, where you drive the
Mhm.
ship. You'll
Yeah.
find out what you're made of.
Yeah.
It's easy to get up and go to a job where they have the procedures and everything mapped
Mhm.
out, and this is
Mhm.
how we do it. We make burgers like this at McDonald's, or we put
Right.
this type of food on the bar at Golden Corral. Like,
Mhm.
that's all fine
Yeah.
and dandy, or you follow these documents. But when it comes
Mhm.
down to you figuring out your processes, where you're going to get all your
Mhm.
inventory from, when you have to order shipping supplies, like when you're the one
Yeah.
that's in control of all that, you really figure out what you're
Yeah.
made of, you know.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
if you don't have it in you, like, you're not gonna, if you don't have that stick to itiveness, you're gonna be like,
Mhm.
screw this.
Mhm.
I don't want to do this, and
Mhm.
you can really fall off.
There is definitely a sense of fulfillment though that comes with it. Once you start
100%.
selling a couple items, you're like, "Wow, I'm actually getting a sense of the work that I'm putting in is
Yeah.
paying off."
Yeah.
So that's the cool part. And if you're not selling on eBay, I would definitely try to at least look to maybe
Hmm.
experimenting with, whatever's in whatever you desire to sell, electronics, toys, video games, trading cards. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a market for most things. Surprisingly,
Yeah.
and eBay's the
You'd
place.
be surprised.
Hillary says, Brian, Marcus is a machine. Yes.
Mhm.
Jared
What's
says,
up,
did
Jared?
not know you were doing a live tonight, Bo. He says, hi, Marcus.
How you doing, buddy?
And Brian says, I list 42 a day, Monday through Friday, which is 30 a day, but I don't launch on the weekend. What's your opinion on that, guys? So no listings go live on the weekend. I'm thinking that's what you're saying.
So if you're doing 42 a day, but you launch 30 a day, what are you doing with the other 12?
Yeah.
Because if you have 12 going to the draft bank, I would suggest launching those on the weekend.
Yeah, for sure. It's I don't know, eBay is just the more activity that you could put on.
Yeah,
It's really, if you're not active on Saturday and Sunday, then if you just
that's
go and look at your impressions,
it's kind of risky to not be listing on the weekends, because sometimes those are my biggest sales days are Saturday and
hmm
Sunday.
yeah,
People are off work for the week, and they can
hmm,
sit around on their phones and be lazy and scroll and buy stuff that they don't need.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
that faded
Uh,
glory button up.
exactly, man, with the corduroy on it, man. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
coming
what
back.
I
Hmm.
recommend, if you can get to the position where you can do 45 a day and
Yeah.
draft 15 of those,
Hmm.
every 2 days you'll have a day of listing. So every
Yeah.
2 days you get a day. So that means you can have 2 days built up for by the time the weekend comes, to be
Hmm.
able to list on Saturday and Sunday,
Hmm.
and then get right back to it on Monday.
So on the days that you go sourcing at the Goodwill Outlet,
Mhm.
are those the days you're using your drafts,
I
right?
use my
Or
drafts on Monday, which is the day I go to the bins, and then I
hmm,
use 40 more drafts on Saturday, because I take Saturday off
oh,
as my
nice.
Sabbath.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
since Sunday's a really big eBay day, I can't take the Sabbath on Sunday.
Hmm.
So the Bible doesn't say that the Sabbath has to be on Sunday. It just says to take a day of rest.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
Saturday's the day that I take it.
Hmm. Very cool. Yeah. So where else can people find you? I know more than just YouTube. Are you on other
I've just got an
platforms or?
Instagram. It's the same
Okay.
name. I'm Dixon's Pickens everywhere, even my eBay store. So, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I have a TikTok, but the app's not on my phone, so there's no need in
Mm.
reaching out for me there. But I usually answer all my Instagram messages,
Instagram.
and I do have
Okay.
a Discord.
Mm-hmm.
It's free. It's not a paid membership or anything like that. It's
Yeah.
called Good Pickings Podcast with myself and Good Game Grabs Nabiar. We run a Discord together. The descriptions in all or the links in all of my videos.
I just
You
put.
can join there.
Yeah, I just posted it. So yeah, if you have like other reselling questions and want to talk to other resellers, join
Yeah,
that and you can get help right away.
yeah,
There's such a good opportunity right now on eBay, and maybe you're wondering why you're working your job and where it's going to lead
yeah.
to. I just tell you this: you were born for more, and
That's a
eBay can be
fact.
that vehicle that can get you to where you want to be. Whether
Yeah,
it's real estate or you want to be coaching or a teacher or real estate mogul, whatever you want to do, eBay can do that for you in a
mhm,
lot shorter amount of time. And
yeah,
it does take discipline, management, character, all these things that are going to make you a better person.
yeah,
I just really appreciate you coming on, Marcus. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
yeah,
But yeah, if you're catching this on the replay, check out Marcus's channel and maybe it can help you in some way along your reseller journey.
yeah.
Hope you all have a blessed night. Take care.
Thanks, guys.